So I'm going to tag this video. What do you keep in your truck? What do you keep to help you out if something goes wrong? If you break down, if you get stuck in bad weather, different things. If in recent times you got riots, if you get stuck in riots and you can't take your vehicle, what do you keep with you? What do you have in the car you can take with you? Food, water, stuff like that. A lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people nowadays travel, in close to, cities and stuff, 10, 20, 30 miles away from home. Some people further. How are you going to get back if something happens or break down? What are you going to do to help yourself? And a lot of people just get in their car and go, and they don't think about that stuff. And in the city, it's not that big a deal as long as it's not like a natural disaster. Maybe you just break down and get a tow truck and get you towed home, stuff like that. But what if, 9/11 type things happen? People were stuck in their car, had to abandon their cars. People just walked home because they couldn't. The traffic was so bad. Emergency personnel were trying to get in, or you have a Katrina event or the snowstorm they got in Florida. You're stuck. So they didn't have plows for that snow in Florida. I mean, I drove through Georgia right after it happened, and it was a sheet of ice, and they didn't have plow trucks. They have salt trucks. They have nothing. What if you're down there and you get stuck? What do you keep to help you get out of trouble? And these are just some of the things I keep. And they're just like regular things and just tools and such. I got a nice tool roll that I found. Pliers and screwdrivers and knives and stuff like that. And then I've invested heavily into Milwaukee. I mean, the Milwaukee Pack Out. I mean, that's a really nice setup. Because I used to use, this isn't Pack Out, but this is just the impacts that I have. I used to use the old fishing boxes to separate all my nuts and bolts. And it would still get mixed up. But this Pack Out, like everything's separating. You can flip it over. Everything's still where it's supposed to be. And this is just some of the things I keep in here. I know this will be different for you, but Carter keys and screwdriver bits. I have drills in that Pelican over there in impacts that I keep. But electrical connection, fuses. What if you pop a fuse? The car, they have some extras in there, but what if they don't? And it's always good just to keep a couple fuses in your glove box, both small and big. Know what you got in your car. I mean, I think this one has both small and big in it. I don't remember. I was in the fuse box, but I can't remember. And then electrical connectors, butt connectors, in case some wires get cut or something like that. And I have Carter pins and Sawzall blades, but I have the Sawzall blades because I have a Sawzall over there. And the Sawzall I got because when we pull tractors out, a lot of times trees and stuff growing, and if I don't have a chainsaw, Sawzall is the next best thing. And then you have the Pack Out, how it comes in this thing. I know people done a ton of reviews on it. I'm not doing a review, just saying, you got that in there. If you don't want to take the whole thing, tray comes out. You can take the tray wherever you want to work, or you want to take the whole thing. You don't want to set this whole thing on your engine compartment, just take the tray. They're not locked in there. They're just set in their gravity so they can't spill out. They have a square end on here too, and they're like, you can attach a wrench to help. I've never had that problem where I need a wrench to do it. Normally, that or a breaker bar will get them undone. But they are really nice sockets. I've seen some people have negative comments on them, but I can't find any. I've got them in my toolbox in there. I've got a whole other set in my toolbox along with a whole big gear wrench impact set. And when I first got that gear wrench impact, it had like a bunch of surface rust, and I called them and they said, here's a shipping label, send it back, we'll send you a brand new one. They sent me a whole brand new one free of charge. I didn't pay anything for it. So I mean, that was pretty good. But I mean, this toolbox, I got more. This is just pliers I couldn't fit, that maybe they're duplicates or something, but always good to have small pliers. And I got an air chuck in here, and these don't fit the silver Milwaukee's, but they fit the impacts because it's the same size. And I have star keys in here too. And then underneath it's just wrenches in rollouts, pry bar, W40, PB blaster, carb choke cleaner, stuff like that. And then the truck comes with its own jack, obviously. But I have trailers, and the trailers don't come with them. So I have a bottle jack that I keep in here that I just got. I think it was like $30 or something like that. A Husky bottle jack, and it just lives in there in the toolbox. I have a rope, not a towing rope, just like a tie down rope if you have tarps or something, or just need some extra tie down. There was a couple times I needed rope and I didn't have it. I ran out of ratchet straps. And then I have the bolt cutters and then the BFH. I don't know if I guess it's S-Wing. I've got mostly S-Wing hammers. I've got one that was my dad's, and that's got to be over 25 years old, and it's got a lot of surface rust, but it's good. Still works, so that's why I bought them. And then Fiskars, bolt cutters. They are small. Won't do really heavy stuff, but it'll help out in certain things. And a shovel, you get stuck. Digging shovel is good to have. If you get a flat shovel, that's like a transfer shovel. That's not a digging shovel. It'll dig you out, but you'll be hating life. And the pry bar, I've needed it several times. That's mainly for pulling out tractor stuff like that. You got to move something. But I mean, it could be for anything really, obviously. And then you got your tub of towels. I use that a lot. I go through them like crazy. An electrical cord, and the reason I have the electrical cord is because, let me move this out of the way. I have this case, and this is where I keep my impact, and I keep my Sawzall, and I keep my drill, and then batteries, and then a charger, and then, plugs far away, and you'll keep your charger close. You have this charging cord, or for whatever reason, I mean, just electrical cord's a good one to have, a good quality one. This is like a very flexible one. I can't remember how much it was. I want to say it was like $30 or something like that. And always rotate your batteries. Check them. I check them all the time. I go through this stuff like probably like once a month, just to make sure it's all still good and working. And just rotate the batteries. I put those because they don't get used that much. And then I'll put those rotations and batteries in rotation. Take some that are in the shop, put them in there. I mean, I got a ton of batteries because they normally give the batteries away when you buy tools, and I got a lot of Milwaukee tools. But I also have a tarp, and one of the times I needed the tarp was we went to buy a new refrigerator because our refrigerator went bad, and it started raining, so I wrapped it up in the tarp. And then another time I needed it was we had to evacuate for Hurricane Helene up here in Tennessee, and it was strange because we evacuated. And it was crazy where we were at, but when you drove into the town that was close to us, nobody knew what was going on. Like, things was business as usual. Nobody had a clue. And so I felt like I was, creeping around almost at the Sam's Club, and I was like, "Hey, you guys still selling the pallets of water?" And they're like, "Yeah, why wouldn't we?" And I was like, "No reason. Can I get a pallet of the 4-gallon bottle of water, because we have a water cooler in our house?" And I said, "Can I get a pallet of that?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And there was 2 other trucks in the back because they wouldn't obviously load that up front. It was on a pallet. And I went to the back of the store. There was 2 other trucks loading up. And they kind of looked at me. I looked at them, and they're like, "Yeah, we're here for the same reason." And they loaded up on the back of me. And then I was driving back to where our house was because I was trying to get over there. And I was like, I don't want people to know I got pallet of water, because I wasn't sure how people were going to react. And, spoiler alert, nobody acted crazy. Everybody acted with some sense. Nobody was stealing stuff. And, but I kept the tarp on just in case, just in case somebody wanted to steal some stuff. And we actually ended up donating a lot of it because I already had a bunch of stuff in our house for stuff like this to happen. But, yeah, that's why I keep the tarp, just to cover stuff up, protect it from rain or protect it from eyes. And then I got this WeatherGuard toolbox that it's a nice toolbox. It has having the short throw problem where when you push the button it wouldn't open, but I think they sent me a new rod kit, and I was going to do a video on it, but I got to looking at it, and I think somebody just hooked up these rods wrong. They had these rods backwards, so when you push this one, it wasn't pushing, it was pulling against it or something. I don't know. And there's 3 holes, and I put it in the other one, and now it works fine. I mean, it works like it's supposed to. So I have the rods they sent me, and I'm gonna see if they want them back, because I don't need them. If not, they're just gonna go in the metal parts bin. But this WeatherGuard had lights for this, had nice lights set up and everything. And I went to buy it, and it's discontinued. It was only out for like a year. So it makes me think they had like major issues with it or something that they got rid of it. But I mean, I even have holes down here in the box to run wires through. So I had to buy the cheapo LED things. I mean, they stick, but they had so much excess wire, and I was going to cut it. And I was like, no, I don't want to cut it because then, it was, you know, that's extra cuts and wire you're going to have problems with. So I just left it. So I took shrink wrap. Let's see if I can get it out. I shrink wrapped it. I don't know if you can see it. Shrink wrapped the excess wire with big thick shrink wrap to hold it up. But then I still had this loose wire, and don't judge me. This is not final product. It's just so it don't damage the wire. But I hot glued it, and I'm trying to find another way to do it. I don't want to drill into it, but I don't know any other way. Maybe it's just like some track with sticky on the back with like 3M that I could run it through or something like that. But I mean, this works for the most part. It just looks crappy, and I don't like it. Yes, I don't like it, but it works. So for right now, it's staying. But that's what I mean. They're very bright. I still have the wire. I still have to run the wire under the truck into the engine compartment, but I'm waiting on a new fuse panel and a breaker up front so it can be safe. You know, it comes with a fuse, but the fuse is back here, and you should never have the fuse far away. It should always be as close as you can to the battery, just to limit potential for fire. But they're very bright. They light this whole box up, even with all the stuff in the whole box is lit up. And I keep zip ties. You should always have zip ties, you know, in your car, in your truck, whatever, and shop towels. And we added, I added this tank. It's an RDS Industries tank, transfer tank with a fill right pump on it. It holds 100 gallons minus 10%. And I put this on in case, you know, I did it when gas was going crazy. People were running to the gas station, filling up. I mean, just random. There was no real reason. Just all of a sudden to be a run on gas around here. And I have no idea why. And, you know, gas stations would be out of gas for 2 or 3 days or something like that until the trucks came. So I told my wife, I said, let's just put a gas tank in the back. And I mean, we had over there in the corner, we had the diesel trailer that I built. And it's a 100-gallon diesel tank. And that's for the tractor. And, I mean, that worked out good. And it runs off solar battery with a solar charger. And I got no complaints about that. I mean, altogether, I probably spent maybe $800 to set that whole thing up. And I found the trailer. It had like mismatched tires on it and no title. But that's fine. It just sits here. And the tank I had already got. I had a smaller tank and I traded a guy for a bigger tank. And that one was like rusted out. Not rusted out, but it had rust in it, obviously, which happens. And I just vacuumed it out, kept sloshing it, vacuum out, sloshing it, vacuum out. And then I got 2 filters on it, so, I mean, I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal. I'm not pulling up big chunks that don't get clogged. But it works perfect for what I need done. But then I added this gas tank. Zoom out for a gas tank. And, you know, it's pretty good. It sits inside the frame, so if you were to get into an accident, you know, it's pretty protected in here. It's not right up on the body. And it's got this for rollover protection. It's a ball valve, so if it rolls over, it don't drain out. But and then I bought this head guard, and that was just for looks. That really don't serve a purpose except to hold that light bar. I just like the way it looks. And then you go inside. You know, first aid kit. I know Milwaukee makes one, but I put this together before I saw they did that, but it's all right. And then we have jumper cables in that big bag. I'm not gonna take it out because it's a bear to put in. This is a Duha storage tote or under seat tote, and I bought another one. I forget what brand it was, and it was the bolts didn't line up. It had one bolt in the middle that would catch, and that was a bolt right there, and it would just move around so much. And I was like, that's junk. And it was more expensive. And I saw this one. I seen a couple reviews, and it comes with like gun holders, but I just don't. I don't want it for that. But it's just better. Like it's not screwed to the floor, but the seat stays on it, and it's just bolted better, I think. And it's thicker. It's not, that thing was cheap. And then I have Milwaukee's tire inflator, which that thing is really nice. I mean, I've used it more for blowing up balloons and tires at parties, but I've emptied the tires on this truck and it's filled it up in about 3 minutes from dead empty to full, which I think is 65 psi if I'm not mistaken. And if you use the 5.0 battery, you can get, I think, all 4 tires filled on this. But I keep, let me go over there. Hold on. All right. I keep a 9, which is discontinued if I'm not mistaken, but it still works good. I keep a 9 with it, and that's for the flasher of this. And then I have other batteries back there. And that 9 will go, I mean, you probably do about, I think I did about 3 cars one time, or 3 SUVs and a Jeep or something like that, just testing it. From all of them empty to all of them full, and that's when the battery ran out. And it's really nice, really nice. And then I'm part of the living in the winter, even in the south, we still get snow, so I got a jug of ice melt, and then you got your, we'll call it bug out bag, but I just really like that term. It's a bag you got to leave the truck. You can walk with this, blanket and stuff like that. And there's water filtration in there that I've put in there. Just different things. I can go over that later if somebody's really interested. And we got the jump box, the Noco jump box, and I have one in my Tundra, and it works fine because I had some battery issues. The battery went bad and I needed to jump it. And so when I bought this truck, I said, let me buy the Noco, not thinking that it's a bigger truck and needs more juice to get started. So like 2 weeks ago when it dipped down to like 4 degrees down here, the battery on this truck went, and I said, oh, no problem, I'll just jump it and go on and just get a new battery. And I put it on and wouldn't even touch it. I'm like, it's charged, what's wrong? And I was like, you dummy. It's not big enough for the truck. The one that I need for the truck, this was $80. The one you need for the truck is like $250. So I was like, all right, well, that sucks. But I mean, I like to have those type of things. So I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to. But I replaced the battery. So, I mean, I have jumper cables as last ditch, but you got to have somebody use jumper cables. This, you don't need nobody but yourself. This lunch bag, I just keep snacks in it for the kid or us or whatever, if we're going somewhere in between lunch or something like that, or if he gets hungry between basketball practice or something like that. Yeah. And then fold the seat down. I bought these seat covers. They're Carhartt seat covers, and they're by Covercraft, and they're expensive, but they're nice. They're just same materials like their pants, the Carhartt pants, that duck down material. I don't even know what it's called, but they're super nice. My dog gets in here and she got them nails, and I mean, they don't touch them at all. I wish I had them for the Tundra, because the Tundra, the seat got tore up. Like the stitching came out because she was sitting in it. But these are nice seat covers. Like, if you can afford it, they're real nice. I know there's other things out there, you know. If you get what you can afford, don't break the bank. That's what I'm saying. But let's go up to the front, and I'll show you some things I did up front. All right, we're up front, and I cannot recommend this company enough. This Bullet Point mounting solutions. They make some really good stuff. And the one I got here is a magnet mount with a charger, but the charger on my phone stopped working. But this still works fine, and it would normally plug in here, like that. And I got my wife one. She liked that one better. I don't know why. But I mean, I hit hard bumps on this magnet, and the phone I've never had the phone come off. I haven't done any serious off-roading. I'm sure if you hit some really aggressive things, it would probably knock it out. So you might want to get the holder one, but I mean, this is just as good. I mean, none of the products are cheap on this stuff, and it has a little bracket down here that it mounts to. You have to screw it into the dash, and I was okay with that because this like dash piece comes out. This dash piece comes out, and I was looking online. It's like $40 to replace it. So that's the only thing it screws into. So I didn't have a big deal tearing that up. And then this is a cigarette lighter, and I had that plugged into the box that's under the hood for this, so I could turn it on and off. So the power would be that one, and that would turn that box on. And then this is the front LED lights, and then that rear light bar. And this is for the fuel pump, for that RDS fill right tank. And it has the lever on it, and I just didn't really like that because anybody can access it and start pumping. I mean, it had a lock, but you know, lock's only good as a lock can be. Somebody can just cut it off if they really wanted to, and then you have 100 gallons of free gas. So I wired it, which is still in the amperage and voltage for this unit, and I wired it to it, and so I Press that, and then the tank turns on the back, and then you can pump. So, and this only comes on when the key is in the ignition and on. So if you don't have the key, you can't access this. That means you can't turn that on. You can't steal the fuel. So that, I mean, that's just how I got that. And then, you know, I got the camera. Everybody should have a dash cam. If you don't have a dash cam, get one. You can get them pretty cheap. But I recommend, I mean, there's been several occasions, bears I've caught, just that was fun. But then there's a woman who, around a blind curve, was driving the wrong way, coming head on at me. I almost slammed into her. I mean, it's just, the more people move down here, the dumber the driving is. When we moved down here, I was always like, oh, everybody drives slow, everybody drives respectful, everybody drives courteous. And the more population grows, the more reckless people are driving. I mean, they're passing by my house, flying under. I mean, the cops sit here all the time just as free money for them. And I mean, it's just crazy how quick people drive down here. But and then your radar detector, because I don't know, I don't even speed, honestly, because I have a CDL. I don't really speed, but I still have it just in case. Because, you know, sometimes you'd be switching, the roads will speed limit be switching. You know, you'd be in a 55, then it's a 45, and you were doing like 58. So now you're really speeding. Now you're doing 58 and a 45. But I don't. My wife needs it. She gets a lot of tickets, a lot, not a lot, but enough that it would justify. But that's the red line 360. I mean, it's really good. And what's nice about that is that you can do software. I have an old Escort 980 or something like that. I mean, that thing is probably 15, 20 years old, and it don't do no more updates. So at least this can, you know, they can make it better. And then I got this visor cover from SOE. I don't like that company, but I like the visor cover, so I'll buy that. It's in my Tundra. It's nice made. It's well made. And I just keep knives and pens, just little stuff. I mean, it's just a nice organizer. I mean, I'll give them credit. It's a nice organizer. And this is an idea book. Anytime I get ideas about anything, I write in there. Projects, things, I don't know. Whatever comes into your mind. Well, let me show you under the hood how this pod hooks up. So my truck didn't come with the upfitter switches, so I had to add this, that S-Pod. It's not an S-Pod, it's Oxbeam's version of an S-Pod. But I had to add this. And it came with this. This is a breaker, 60 amp breaker, so if you draw too much, it'll just trip. And keep that nice and close to the battery. And the battery cable, I mean, for Oxbeam, the cables it came with were pretty nice. They didn't cheap out at all. And then it runs across the truck firewall to the other side. And this is it right here. And then everything just plugs into this little box. And it's nice and protected. Let me see if I can move that stuff out of the way. And there's that. And it just plugs everything into right there. Screws in, nice fuses, easily accessible. And all the electrical components are sealed up, so they, you know, obviously not waterproof, because if the water gets in the top there, it'll short stuff out and pop fuses. But the components in here are pretty waterproof because they put that gel in it, and then gives you a nice little storage space here for fuses and stuff. But pretty happy with this truck so far. Oh, let me show you I bought the Rigid, and these things are like daytime when you turn them on. I was gonna get 4 big ones, but I was like, let me not, because knowing Rigid, they're probably really bright. I'm used to the cheapo stuff. I was like, let me not. I'm glad I didn't, because, you know, it'd be like sun out at the middle of the night. But and I always turn to like side like that to side shoot the road, because most of the time when deer come, they come from the side of the road. They're not come straight on at you unless you have a suicidal deer. But they come from the side, and that puts enough light off to the side that you can see stuff moving. And so I did that on that one, and I did it with the Tundra. But when we first got this, middle of winter, the heat stopped working. I'd take it in, and they fixed it. It's still got powertrain warranty. I mean, still got factory warranty. And the dealership I bought it from put a lifetime powertrain warranty. So The way he described it, anything oil touches is covered. So engine, motor, engine, transmission, rears, stuff like that. 4x4, it's all covered from any problems you might have. But for the most part, it's nice. And I got the BF Goodwrench HD Terrains. I was going to get the KO2s, which is on the Tundra. But I was seeing a lot of people saying that with heavier trucks, the tires were chipping, falling apart a little quicker and wearing out quicker. And these are built for heavy trucks. And I've had them 8 months and they still look pretty brand new. And I've done a lot of towing with it. And you got to get your stuff rotated too. Like, you got to rotate them. But, I mean, I've had no complaints. They do have noise. They do have roar noise. As you can see, they are, maybe a little bit more aggressive than the BF Goodwrench KO2s. But I hear they come out with KO3s now, and they're supposed to be maybe the same as these. I don't really know. I mean, you're going to pay for them. I mean, you're getting what you pay for. I mean, I think these I want to say I paid like $1,700 for them. But they're good. But that's it. First video, 26 minutes. I hope it's not too long. I just tried to give an overview of everything I did, maybe get some ideas. If you saw something else you want to see, closer in depth, let me know. I'll, put it on the list for stuff to do for the next video. I wanted to give next video, I think I'm gonna do like a shop tour or something like that. Just show some of the things I did. It's definitely changed a lot in that garage. I gutted the whole garage. I put plywood up on all the walls. This is during COVID when we were stuck home for all those weeks, and Tennessee really didn't. I mean, they let you go home. My work made us go home for a little bit, but I gutted the garage and made it real nice. Put a lot of money into pack out and new Milwaukee tools and new toolbox and stuff like that. But I think I'll do that on the next video. But until then, y'all have a good time, and I'll see you later.